Well, there it is, a beautiful view of North Main Street in Barrie. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Aired Out Podcast, live from Fly the Wall Productions. It is a absolutely gorgeous Thursday. Looking over at Nelson Ace Hardware this morning. They're very busy, bringing the grills out. Nice to have you along. Thanks so much for tuning in. Seen and heard everywhere you get your podcasts and on the web at airedoutVT.com. We are going to be talking about the Williamstown Jack-o'-lantern event that's coming up. I was going to say pumpkin, but this is not just pumpkins that are going out on display. This is carved pumpkins. And it is going to be spectacular this year. At the end of the month, we're going to be chatting with Tanya Lewis this morning and tell you how you can get involved. But, good morning. We're looking at lower 50s this morning for most of us. 70 degrees later today with a mix of sun and clouds. I love that. But cooler weather's coming. Tonight, partly cloudy, a little bit of fog, and in some towns, a lot of fog, 44 the low. Friday, Saturday, Sunday look good with sun and clouds and lower 70s. Friday is, that's when things are going to be cooling down a little bit. Or I should say Saturday and Sunday cooling down a lot with highs topping out into the 60s. So here we go. National Boyfriend Day today. And, another year down that Lily doesn't have one, which is a good thing. I know some of you can, well, boyfriends are good and Lily's going to grow up and, yeah, okay. I'm not looking forward to that. Birthdays today. Mike Healy. Happy birthday, Mikey. Logan Furno, Bradley Woods, Harry Miller, Gina Phillips, Don Dingman, Kyle Limlaw on the birthday list today, along with Kathy Dakota, Tammy Kea, and Barbara King, wishing her son, Alta Pike, a very happy 15th birthday today. Facebook question of the day. What's your favorite TV episode? I was talking with a friend yesterday about the Sopranos, and he was like, all-time best TV series ever. And I was like, really? I mean, listen, no disrespect to the Sopranos, but I know it was good. And okay, it was great, but was it the best? Was it which one is your favorite? Is it Yellowstone? Is it Fargo? Is it The Cosby Show? What is it? We want to hear from you this morning. Your all-time most favorite TV episode of all time. Let's see. Vermont and regional headlines from CAX and PTZ and Digger and the Times-Argus. There's a lot of stuff going on. The man accused of a triple murder in Paulette is back in Vermont. Brian Crossman Jr., now in the custody of the Vermont Department of Corrections. This story came out yesterday. I think most of us know this by now, but police arrested him last month for the shooting deaths of his father, his stepmother, and his 13-year-old stepbrother. We expect Crossman Jr. to be in front of a judge today. Yeah. I wonder how this is going to shake down. I really do. He's charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder. There's just part of me that's a little unsettled about this on many levels, but one of them is just the anticipatory feeling that, I don't know, I'm sure there's some people like, JD, really get a grip here, but I don't know, just the feeling that this guy is just, he's just not going to get the punishment that he should get. I mean, this is going to hang out in courts for a long time, and it's going to Cost a lot of money, and it's going to be dragged out, I'm sure. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Good morning, Linda, Glenn, Stacy, Francine. We got a lot of people hopping on this morning. Thanks for being a part of the Aired Out podcast. We're going to be talking about the Williamstown Pumpkin Show in just a little bit. Also, and because this is live, a live daily morning podcast, things happen. And yesterday we were trying to connect in with Chris Autry down in North Carolina. And at the last minute, we got a text from him saying no can do. He was on the phone coordinating efforts to Asheville, North Carolina. And my understanding is that he may be en route to Asheville right now. So we're going to try to catch him this morning and put him on the air live. Hopefully he'll be able to connect with us. But, of course, the cell service down there is questionable. And he's also respectfully just slammed with incoming calls and trying to assist, coordinating efforts to help so many people down there. So we will try to connect with him this morning sometime between, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock or so. Yesterday was day 3 of the retrial for the Franklin County Sheriff as he tries to clear his name. John Grismore, of course, accused of assault for allegedly kidnapping a shackled suspect when he was captain in the department. Big story in Vermont. The first trial ended in a hung jury earlier this year, and now the focus yesterday during the retrial was on Grismore's use of force. There's video of him kicking a detainee while he was handcuffed. He's been charged with misdemeanor simple assault. So, again, there's another story that is getting more and more traction, it seems, every day that passes here in Vermont. We're watching it. Federal officials say that a New Jersey man unlawfully transported people who illegally crossed the U.S.-Canada border into Vermont. We have that story up on the Aired Out page. The team of 14 rescued 20 people and dozens of pets in Florida. We're talking about our remarkable Swiftwater urban rescue team from Vermont that has been down in North Carolina. 14 of them rescuing 20 people and, again, dozens of pets in Florida last week. And now they are boots on the ground in North Carolina, presumably Asheville. But we're so proud of them here in Vermont for what they're doing. Had fun with Dick Wabi yesterday. A lot of fun with Dick Wabi yesterday. He always makes me laugh. Great guy, but it can also be very serious as well. And I really enjoyed having him on the show. One of the things that we talked about, which set him off, was the headline in the news that there's a group of over 90 Vermont lawmakers that are calling for the governor to set up emergency homeless shelters and to boost the number of hotel rooms after the legislature slashed the program. And man, everybody and their brother has an opinion on this, and kind of hit the bee's nest with the tennis racket a little bit with Dick Wabi on this subject yesterday, which I appreciate him being so outspoken about stuff like this. And boy, you never have to question where he stands. We need more people like that in our government. We really do. I still think Dick Wabi should run for office, but let's see. Oh yeah, this one this morning on I know, November is coming. Fast. CAX this morning. After nearly 2 years of discussion, the Washington Central Unified Union School District voted down its new configuration model. The plan would close Callis Elementary and Doty Memorial Schools and move all sixth graders to U32 Middle School. That story is up on our page this morning if you would like to have a read on that. There's another one that so many of us have strong opinions about. Digger this morning has the story of Seth Brunel. He's the 45-year-old accused of killing Fern Feather, a transgender woman, back in 2022. This was such a huge story. I can't believe it was 2 years ago. It seems like it was yesterday. He is set to begin his second-degree murder trial October 15th. And his attorney, if you want to read about it, and you can read all the details about why, but his attorney, Jessica Burke, wants the judge to dismiss the case entirely. And I gave a quick read through that and was like, okay, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Is the attorney for Crossman going to say the same thing? I mean, I don't know, man. This is just nuts. Vermonters in Burlington and Colchester are knocking on doors to encourage voter turnout for the election. Just a whole bunch of Vermonters volunteering their time and going around door to door saying, hey, I don't know exactly that they're saying this, but presumably, no matter who you vote for, no matter where you are politically, go to the polls. Make sure you vote. Maybe more of us should be doing this. I don't know. Senator Welch requests list of books banned from prisons. Banned Book Week starts on Saturday. And Peter Welch says it's not just schools that are censoring reading materials. I have very, very strong feelings and opinions, which last I checked, we were all entitled to our own. But I have very strong opinions about books that belong in schools and books that just flat out don't belong anywhere near a school. We'll see what happens. Give you a quick glance again of North Main Street, Barrie. The sun is shining. It is a beautiful day. We're going to have temperatures hovering right around 70 degrees. It's just going to be beautiful. Get out and enjoy it. Oh, man, there's some good comments coming in this morning. Linda saying, some questions I'd like to see answered is, why are those people homeless? What is due? Was it due to eviction? And if so, why were they evicted? I saw one family spoke about having 2 disabled children, and if that's the case, why were they removed from the hotel where they were staying? They said dad was disabled, so why does mom not have a job? There's a lot of questions that are not answered. Good point, Linda. Dwayne saying there's only one type of individual that's going to be going door to door requesting people to vote. LOL. And I think Most people know what person that is. I don't know. I don't know about that. I know what he's getting to. But anyway, that's happening in Burlington and Colchester. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Do tell. National headlines. About 1 million customers in southeastern United States are still without electricity. Let me say that again. 1 million people in the southeast of our country are without electricity a week after Hurricane Helene wiped out a huge swath of the power grid. And most of these outages are in the Western Carolinas, where Chris Autry is standing by and hopefully going to be joining us this morning live at about 9:40 or so. Unprecedented destruction. How this area is going to rebuild their infrastructure, their power grid, their homes, their lives, is beyond me. This has been referred to as apocalyptic, biblical. I literally cannot believe my eyes when I see pictures, aerial pictures, of entire, not just certain streets and certain stretch of roadways, but entire communities, towns, villages, shopping centers that are literally gone, literally wiped off the face of the earth. Again, Chris Autry is going to be joining us from North Carolina. We tried yesterday. We were not able to get him. We're going to try again this morning and see if we can sneak him on. We have a record share of U.S. kindergartners who had an exemption for required vaccinations in the last school year, leaving more than 125,000 new school children without coverage for at least one state-mandated vaccine. CDC published this story yesterday. We have a massive port strike along the east and Gulf Coast that has now entered its third day and has the potential to become one of America's most disruptive work stoppages. I'll say that again. Has the potential to become one of America's most disruptive work stoppages in history. And you thought Boeing was big. I mean, this is massive. This is going from the East Coast all the way to Texas and beyond. And if this strike drags on, I think it would be fair to say that we all could expect some shortages of perishable food items. Absolutely, positively. Most certainly not trying to be an alarmist here, but just saying it like it is. This should be one of the top stories that we are paying attention to and watching daily, hourly. What's going to happen to U.S. imports? Yeah, like Glenn just said, like we don't have enough problems already. I mean, this is really something else. I mean, there's already, I saw it in the headlines this morning. Already stuff about people freaking out about toilet paper again. And why is it toilet paper? Why? Okay. I understand. We all need to wipe. I get that, but there's other things to wipe with. I don't know. It comes to toilet paper? Okay. After nearly, well, let's see. We got that story covered. After nearly 2 years, a California doctor has finally pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute ketamine to Matthew Perry, or I should say after a year. Dr. Mark Chavez, one of 5 people charged in Matthew Perry's death, pleaded guilty yesterday. We have President Joe Biden flying over Asheville yesterday, deploying about 1,000 soldiers for relief efforts. We have a death toll of 181. And I respectfully ask, and I really do, I mean this respectfully. I can't imagine being the president of the United States and how busy you must be. But I said to myself yesterday, any president, I don't care who it is, any president, do you think, truthfully, that they are briefed on the hour of what's going on in North Carolina with the current death toll and other information? It's now 181. Yesterday it was like 162. I just wonder things like that. You know, if someone were to pull the president aside right now and say, "Hey, do you know what the death toll is?" Would he say 100? I don't know. Listen, I'm not taking a dig here at Biden. I'm saying any president with everything else that they've got going on. I just wonder if he really knows the true magnitude of this. Is a flyover enough? World headlines this morning. And we're going to jump into the community calendar here in just a second and take you to Williamstown and tell you about their big jack-lantern event that has been going on for a long time. And we'll tell you how you can get involved. World headlines, Israel's war cabinet weighing its response after Iran on Tuesday launched its largest ever attack on the country. The UN ambassador, Danny Danon, telling CNN that retaliation will be soon and will be, quote, very strong. People in Tehran are on the edge, with many fearing Israel's retaliatory attack, and that it could target Iranian nuclear facilities. The strike in central Beirut yesterday killed 6 people, and so far, Israel's strikes have killed over 1,000 people in Lebanon alone, which has also displaced about 1 million people. The talk that some of this retaliatory response could be targeting Iran's nuclear facilities got the attention of our president yesterday, as it should have, and many others, part of the G8 summit or G7. They all should be paying attention to this. I wonder if they are. Sports, Padres, Brewers, Royals, Tigers, all had wins last night. Mets and Brewers tonight as the wild card series continues. Thursday night football, we got the Buccaneers and the Falcons. NASCAR fans know that the Cup Series is going to be heading to Talladega this Sunday for 2 p.m. And, of course, Vermont's going to be at the Milk Bowl. But, yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a good weekend. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Francine. Let's dive into the community calendar this morning. And, again, we're going to try to check in with Chris Autry in North Carolina here in just a few minutes. But our community calendar is brought to you by The World, Central Vermont's favorite weekly newspaper. Over 20,000 readers every single week. We love them over at The World. And one of the big things that is going on is it's at the end of the month in Williamstown. Tanya Lewis, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. It is
awesome.
I haven't seen you in the longest time, but
a long time.
Welcome to the airwaves. You're in Williamstown right now?
I am in Williamstown, and I think the last time we might have spoken was at Wedding Wednesdays we did up at the radio station years ago in Barrie.
Cannot believe how long ago that was.
15 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, literally like 15 years ago, something like that. And now now you're doing so much. You're coaching. What are you doing?
Oh, goodness. It depends on the day. So I work at Meckelson RV. Love my family in East Montpelier. I have Tuxtown that I'm going to make into Tuxtown Travels, where I'm going to be coming to people's houses to do their suits and tuxes for weddings. I also started picking up veils and accessories. And then I'm going to be coaching in some capacity with girls basketball this winter.
Wow.
I did find out yesterday I have a surgery coming up, so I can't be a full-time coach, but I'm going to be a part of the U32 program, which I'm really excited about because that always helps me with my recovery too.
Yeah.
Just being around good people and basketball. So, and then there's obviously the Williamstown Pumpkin Show.
Yes.
Which keeps me busy every October and gets me ready for the winter and the surgeries.
How many years has this been going on in Williamstown?
About 15.
Wow.
It started the year that Ellie's was done. And because the thought was to do a cross town. And we checked with them, but they were done. So that's when it started, which was around 2010, 2009.
Yeah, I remember when Ellie's Farm Market there. I remember when they said no more pumpkin show, and I remember when Williamstown was like, "That's it, man. We're doing it."
We're jumping, yeah, absolutely. And what's really cool about the Williamstown one is it's really a community thing. I mean, I heard that Ellie could carve a pumpkin in 3 minutes.
Yes.
Me, it's more like an hour. But we have St. Monica, St. Michael's School every year. Sandra posts about is amazing. She coordinates that. Spalding Education Alternatives. Nashonda was doing that. Now I've got Ashley helping me with it, and Paul at Williamstown Middle High School. And so and anybody listening, if there's like art departments that are interested in, me bringing over 5-10 pumpkins for their art students to carve the end of October, and they could bring them. So I can kind of explain how the pumpkin show works if you like.
Yeah, please do. Okay. Yes.
So the pumpkin show is on Saturday, October 26th and Sunday, October 27th. It's always the Saturday and Sunday before Halloween. And we light the candles. They're all lit at 6 o'clock. And we let the people come until the candles go out, which they're 6-hour candles. So, I mean, people can come through 9, 10 o'clock. That's, it's actually kind of nice and quiet then and really somber. But we do prizes for best carvings. This year we have a theme is best bird. And you use that however you want. You want to do a pterodactyl, you want to do a pigeon, any type of bird, or, could be Larry. Well, that's fine too. I love number 33.
You know
And
there's
then
there's going to be a Larry Bird now. You
I
know that's
hope
good. Yeah.
so. I mean, I'm a huge Celtics fan, so yeah, absolutely. And then we do a groups of 5 or more. If somebody wants to do like a theme, it can be any theme they want. Last year we had an Evil Dead theme that won. My daughter Autumn actually did it. She had zombies and Rick Zombie, and there's some real creative people out there. Melissa and Brittany are always helping us every year, and we've got families like the Longs from Barry, the Paquettes from East Montpelier, the Bellevos from Williamstown. They're taking, 6 to 10 pumpkins every year and sitting down with their family and carving them and then bringing them to me. They have to be brought to us in Williamstown on 54 Garden Street on Saturday morning, the 26th, from 9 to noon. So they bring the carved pumpkins to us, and then I check them in, and we put them on display for the shows. And then, and basically, what Rob does every year is he purchases all these pumpkins, and I'm kind of the leg person, and I distribute them to people in the area, and then they bring them back to us, and then he donates the prize money, he donates all of that. And then Williamstown Youth Sports comes, they have a bake sale, and any donations, because this is all free, it's any donations that people want to make, it all goes to Williamstown Youth Sports.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's a really big thing. One different thing we did this year is we purchased pumpkins ahead of time, which we need to get our new pumpkins in. So we marked them down to $5 a piece. So if anybody needs a pumpkin, go grab one on Garden Street for $5. We're trying to, just move them because we've got another couple hundred going to be coming for the show.
All right, you said 54 Garden Street?
54 Garden Street, Williamstown, yep. And
Okay.
last year we had 225 lit carved pumpkins on display throughout the property. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It's so cool. I know you had Megan Brown on your podcast a while back.
Yes.
With James and Megan. Obviously, I went to the benefit for James on Saturday. Love those guys. They were my judges one year. They're really close friends of ours. So shout out to them. Anybody who can help Megan, please do.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I heard that it was a huge success over at the Den. So the bottom line is, if you want to be part of this, get over to 54 Garden Street and buy a pumpkin.
Well, no, let me back up. We have those pumpkins, the ones that we need to get rid of, they're $5 each. Those are just for people to purchase to keep at home.
Got it.
If people want to carve a pumpkin for the show, I have some left. I'm going to run out, my reserves. But they can contact me. They can, message me or whatnot and say, hey, listen, I've got my boys' Cub Scouts. Can I get 5 pumpkins, whatnot. We'll get them the pumpkins, and then they just bring them back. If you can't get a pumpkin from me because I've run out, then you can still bring your own pumpkins. Because the more the merrier. I mean, we get about 225, but I'd love to see 300 on the hills.
Sure.
That would be awesome.
Okay. So that's how that works. So what's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
They can text me if they want. I can give you my number, or they can message me on Facebook. Either way, whatever works best. Let's do that, Tanya, if we could, if you're willing to give that out, and I'll post it up here in the comments too. 802-498.
Yeah.
5531. I've got about 50 probably reserved left, and then the people would get them like the week before. So we don't want these carved, for 2 weeks before. We usually ask them to be carved like Wednesday, the week of.
Sure.
So that they're
Sure. And folks should bring their own tea lights, or how does that work?
We provide all the tea lights.
Wow.
We provide, all they have to do is just bring us a carved pumpkin, and we will make it look awesome.
Where's Rob buying all these pumpkins from, and how much is he spending?
He's spending a lot of money. Every year it's been changing. We used to get it from Snow's in Randolph, and then we went over to Baker's in Northfield. Bobby Molinario and Bobby Jr. were great last year from Hannaford's, and this year was a gentleman in Bradford. Sorry if I don't remember his name, that Rob worked with. And so this was the first year he actually bought pumpkins ahead of time, just to help support the supplier, because it's hard to find a consistent one.
All right, so this event, all of these jack-o'-lanterns going to be on display the 26th and 27th, starting at around 6 p.m. in Williamstown.
Correct.
Impossible to miss.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's once you go, you just, oh my God, that was so amazing. Like every year, I'm so impressed how somber, how it's almost a spiritual thing. It's just so cool. And I think my favorite part is when I'm walking around and I hear a little kid go, "Mommy, Mommy, look, it's Odie. Mommy,
Yeah.
Mommy, look, it's SpongeBob."
I love that.
We get everything, and it's really cool.
Listen, you're going to text me if there's any updates here. You're going to text me. You're also going to send me the graphic when it comes out.
Yes, we have the graphic out. We just need to make another tweak to it. But yeah, I can send that to you in the meantime. Absolutely.
Send that over to me. We'll get it posted up. And if there's any updates or anything, let me know, and we will promote the crap out of it.
Awesome. Will you be coming to the show on Saturday?
Yes, I definitely will.
Could I ask you a favor?
Of course you can.
Would you and Sherilyn like to be our judges?
Speaking for her, I think we would love to be.
That would be awesome. And bring your daughter with you. She can be your the deciding factor.
Assistant judge. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So Saturday, October 26th, around 8:00, and we'll do the judging then. That would be awesome.
8 p.m. on the 26th.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Great. Thank you so much.
Cannot wait. Yeah, and stay in touch with me. All right. I'm going to be keeping it. If I see your name come up, I'm going to be paying attention to it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, JD, so much. Good to talk to you.
Thanks. Tanya Lewis right there. Getting ready for the Big Pumpkin Show coming up in Williamstown at the end of this month. You're going to be hearing us talking a lot about it between now and then, for sure. Speaking of pumpkins, on the 25th, the day before, is going to be a big event, too. Carving for Kay in honor of Kay Santamore. Kay's much-beloved friends, Ruth Weeks being one of them, over there on Rudd Farm Road, has put this together. Kay always wanted to do a big pumpkin show. So they are asking you, they being Kay's friends, to carve or paint a pumpkin and bring it to 21 Rudd Farm Road with your name on the bottom of the pumpkin and a tea light or a battery light. And those jack-o'-lanterns are going to be lit and on display at Rudd Farm Road. And I'm going to give you a phone number here. This is the phone number for Ruth Weeks if you need more information. The poster has been posted up on the page and will continue to as well. But it's 272-2587 for more info or to help out in any way getting involved with Carving for Kay in honor of Kay Santamore. Again, 272-2587. Watch the page for the poster on that. There is so much going on for Halloween this year. Of course, Malloween is back at the Central Vermont Marketplace from 4 to 6 on the 25th. The same date and same time for the 4th annual Trunk or Treat at Preston's Kia. That is also from 4 to 6. There's going to be a lot of fun at both, a lot of food, costume prices, and of course, a whole hell of a lot of candy. So bring the kids and have them get involved with this and have fun and do a little rehearsal for the 31st with their costumes and whatnot. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. Looking ahead here also, Saturday the 26th, the Kitzmiller Memorial Coat Drive Distribution Community National Bank in Barrie from 9 till noon, and then Montpelier City Hall from 9 to 2 that day. This weekend, of course, the Milk Bowl on Sunday, qualifying on Saturday. It is going to be an action-packed event. The weather's going to be perfect for it. Lots of people out camping. It is going to be one hell of a weekend. And I see that the forecast for Monday morning is calling for rain. I think there's going to be a few people sleeping in on Monday morning, but it's going to be a great weekend. Good luck to all the drivers. Asked you, which driver you would love to see win more than anything, and oh man, a lot of great drivers were listed. Also, this weekend, Berry Fishing Game Club has their sight-in day on Saturday, October 5th, from 9 to 3. So get on over there. It is absolutely free. And sight in your gun. Gun Club Road in Berlin. Again, right there at the Fishing Game Club. And it is free. All right. It is 9:45. We're going to see if we can get Chris Autry on the line with us. We're not sure if he's going to be able to answer or chat with us. We tried yesterday, but it looks like we got him. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, man. How are you?
What can you tell us, Chris? First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, man. I'm good. I'm sorry I had to bail at the last minute yesterday. I was getting a phone call asking if I would lead a crew up on Monday to do assessments. And so there's not enough assessors that are on the ground. So I'm leading a crew up on Monday and come back Wednesday to help assess in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, which is oh man, I hate to say where it is now. but anyway, I'm going to head up there on Monday. We're going to lead a crew up. I would tell you, man, we are number one. I want to be extremely positive. Like, I know there's a lot of division in our country and a lot of hatred going every other way, but leave it to a natural disaster for the Lord to bring us together. So, man, I got every kind of group. When our church put on Facebook, we're taking donations. We're going to send up donations every couple of weeks and all this stuff. Like, I had people within 2 hours of me posting that dropping supplies off. And yesterday I had check this out. So the whole port strike thing.
Yeah.
So there's a guy who is really good friends with some members of our church, and he owns a trucking company that only does trucking around the ports. That's all they do. And now they're on strike. So he's got a lot of money. And so he looked at this church member of mine who looked at me and said, he straight up said, if y'all need an 18-wheeler to carry supplies, he'll pay for it. Like, I'm whether here or there on the strike front, whatever, I'm just saying that's the Lord, right? That's the Lord redeeming a mess. So, so there are some positives, man. He goes, and I also tell you this, Southern Baptist Disaster Relief, Samaritan's Purse, and then Global Methodist Disaster Relief.
Yeah.
Like, those three organizations were the first organizations on the ground. They got there before FEMA could get there. And I chose my words right. Could get there. FEMA could not get on the ground.
Still with us? We may have lost you.
That's the crazy thing. Before everybody else, Jesus showed up first. Jesus got there long before Biden got there, and long before any of our governors got there. So I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I do just want everybody to understand, like, there's some good happening on the ground. So let's talk about the bad. There are parts of the North Carolina mountains that are only accessible by horse and mule. Not ATVs will not get there. You've got people who are stranded watching helicopters fly over, and they're having to use mirror and sun to catch their attention to come rescue them. It is as desolate as you could ever imagine. It's awful. There are some people are reporting 600 people unidentified. The governor's reporting still over 1,000 people missing. So we really don't know the exact number. And if I'm fair, I think that 600 to 1,000 or more is a fair assessment. We just don't know. We literally just don't know. A lot of people were washed down rivers, and they're just not going to be seen until somebody finds them. And if they're probably in a spot that is inaccessible. Yesterday, I was speaking to the pastor of Pisgah Forest Baptist Church in Pisgah Forest. Our church is going to establish a long-term partnership with them, and they're who we're carrying our supplies to. And as he's talking to me, he's like, Chris, I'm looking at the river and I can see a body in the river and we can't get to him. So it's awful. I mean, there's no other way around it. It's awful. So I encourage people, if they want to give, a great place to give that is, secure to give is baptistonmission.org. And so if you go on their website and you want to give financially or you want to learn what supplies to take, they'll tell you.
One more time with that.
baptistonmission.org.
Okay.
There's a list of supplies. Everything on that supply list is what's needed. If you want to give money for them to buy supplies and take, that's available too. You can give financially there. One of the big things we're worried about right now is looting and piracy. We've got a lot of reports coming out to us that there are people trying to just steal from disaster relief units, or when they see a disaster relief unit show up, they are, they know who you are because we have yellow hats on. They know who our trucks and vans are, and so they meet us there and they raid our stuff, even on the interstate. I mean, that's what they do. And so we're having to go armed. We're going to go armed on Monday. We're going to go armed on Saturday, and we can't leave cars by themselves. We're going to have to, if we stop for food, somebody's going to sit in the car, and the rest of us are going to break them food. I mean, it's just it's a reality, man. But I will say, it's just really bad devastation. I mean, I was like I told you, I was on the ground. I was in ground zero 5 months after 9/11. That would be the pinnacle of the worst I've seen. I was on ground in Katrina 3 months after Katrina hit in Alabama, and this would probably sit between the two of them. Katrina was, I never saw death at Katrina. I saw death at 9/11. This would easily sit between the two of them. I mean, dude, I could tell you at 9/11, I could tell you on ground zero in Katrina, they're all starting to flow together. In Katrina, I could tell you how to keep electricity, people took an electric pole on their own and built stilts to it to hold it up so they could get electricity in their neighborhood. And when I arrived on the ground, that's what we found. And we couldn't do much in certain neighborhoods because of that. I mean, that is we're dealing with that kind of devastation, and you guys understand what that looks like. I mean, y'all have lived through it. I mean, JD, you saved people out of a car with a canoe when Barry flooded. So yeah, man, it's pray for us, give, connect with the church like Faith Community or Enough Ministries, and talk to Dan Malin and ask them, are they sending teams to North Carolina? Man, because we're going to need them. Right now, I'll tell you, we cannot take rebuild teams. We can only take teams that are delivering supplies, and only teams that are trained to serve meals. That's it. We can't take rebuild teams, but there's going to be a time we're going to need rebuild teams. And it's going to, and we're going to need teams for years. Yeah.
There are so many Vermonters that want to come down there, and I have heard I've heard them say, we're just going to load up a truck and we're going to go. We're getting friends together. What kind of advice would you give before anyone were to kind of grassroots effort, jump in a vehicle and start traveling south?
So you have to have a security clearance. And the only way I can get a security clearance is through Baptist on Mission. I do not have authority to give out such clearances. I can give out clearances in the teams that I send. I cannot give out a clearance to just somebody in Vermont. So if you call somebody at Baptist on Mission and tell them who you are, and talk to them, they will email you a letter that you have to have in your car. And you'll get up to a checkpoint, probably on the interstate, and you have to show that, and then you'll get in. The same thing works. If you don't go through Baptist on Mission, that's fine. The same thing works with Red Cross, Samaritan's Purse, any disaster relief organization that's a certified DR organization, 501c3, etc. They have to give you some kind of certification. You can't. If you get in, you've got to know somebody that knows somebody to kind of get in. Otherwise, what we're being told and what I've got on my desk right now are certifications to get in to the disaster relief area.
You're headed there
to the ground zero.
All right, you're headed to Asheville Monday.
Right.
And what's the group that you're going with, Chris? Who are you going to be with?
So our church is a Southern Baptist church, and Baptist on Mission is our disaster relief unit. They were on ground in Barry when the flood happened in Barry. So we're going with them. That's who we're going to go with. We could trust them. They're reliable. They're who we're partnered with. We give money to them so they can do this. And they're the ones that gives churches access to these kind of ground zero areas. So one of the beautiful things that they're doing is they're taking a church like mine and they're partnering with a church that's in kind of the ground zero area for the foreseeable future. And so we're going to start with supplies every 2 to 3 weeks, and we're going to take those supplies to that church. That church is going to distribute those supplies to their community. And then when the rebuild effort comes, we'll go right back to that church, and they will be our connecting point through disaster relief. Whose house do we get started on? How do we get started, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that really helps us to also build a relationship with that church that's long-term, and helps that church thrive out of this season. So, like I said, we've already got a church that we are partnered with. The group I'm taking to a different area in Spruce Pine for them to build those same partnerships. But we also are going to assess, because we need to kind of put eyes on the ground and be able to come back and know exactly how to respond to the region. So we're going through Baptist on Mission. It's our disaster relief unit, Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. It's the yellow shirt guys that you saw in Barry. That's who we are, and we're going through them.
Chris, will you be able to stay in touch with us here at Aired Out coming into the coming week, or is that kind of unknown at this point?
It's unknown, but I would be more than happy to have a conversation on Thursday of next week. I will be back here in Fayetteville by dinner time on Wednesday.
Okay.
And so I'm not trusting cell phone service to commit to a phone call.
Sure.
Until I kind of get back toward this direction. So I can do something Thursday morning. I'll also, when I get the chance, if I get the chance, we will post stuff on our page, on our church's webpage, for people to see. And we'll do that as soon as we get, communications.
All right. And you'll have Becca and Sam text me any information as well, right?
Yeah, I can get Becca and Sam. As a matter of fact, Sam will fill up your phone, so with all kinds of stuff. So
all right, maybe basketball scores too, but just have them stay in touch with me if you're not able to, and I will relay that information here on Aired Out directly.
Man, I appreciate you, buddy, and I appreciate everybody who's listening. And thanks for praying, thanks for giving, and hopefully, man, we can say thank you for going, because there's a beautiful relationship between Vermont and North Carolina. It's been going on since 2005, and man, I just want to keep it going.
Thank you, brother, so much. We love you.
Yeah, love you too, man. Y'all
safe.
be good. God bless.
All right. Chris Autry live with us from Fayetteville, North Carolina this morning. He is headed to Asheville come Monday. So we're going to obviously stay in touch with him as much as we can and relay any information that we get. BaptistOnMission.org is the site. Jumping back to the community calendar real quick, saw in the World yesterday, UVM women's basketball having an open practice at the Barry Auditorium tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Also this weekend, Central Vermont Cars and Coffee at AutoZone in Berlin on Sunday the 6th. From 11 to 1, they're going to have live music. There's going to be a lot of stuff there to see. And Drew Lamb from Central Vermont Cars and Coffee is going to be joining us tomorrow morning on the air right here. The Central Vermont Humane Society Fur Fest, Saturday at the Vermont Granite Museum, 5:30 to 8, live and silent auctions. It is going to be huge. And let's see, also want to say, just glancing right here. Oh, this weekend, yes, the 40th annual Aware Fall Foliage Craft Fair on Saturday from 9 to 3 up at Hardwick Elementary School. Free admission, door prices, lunch available. Over 40 vendors are going to be there. It's going to be awesome. And John Sell, who was just in day before yesterday on the air, talking about Norwich University men and women's hockey teams doing a scrimmage versus the Central Vermont Pioneers sled hockey team on Sunday, this coming Sunday, 3:15 at Kreitzberg. It is absolutely free, and it's going to be amazing. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day. We got cloud cover coming in. National Weather Service calling for actually not that bad of a day today. Lower 50s this morning, but 70 later today with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, partly cloudy, some fog, 44 the low, and then got some cooler weather coming in. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at highs topping out in the 60s, maybe lower 70s tomorrow. But enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Be well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the podcast, for tuning in, giving us a like, giving us a share here at Fly on the Wall Productions. And thanks to all of our sponsors, presenting sponsors, supporting sponsors, making it all possible here at Aired Out.